Hello there, hope you're all enjoying your Sunday, and this video is I'm going to look at one of my favourite books that I use within my counselling service, and that's called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff in Love. And sometimes I print off some of this information for some of the couples that I work with, other times I use the information, I read it, and then I refer some of the information back. So if you haven't watched any of my videos before, my name is Marianne Hanson. I'm the founder and owner of New Journeys Counselling Service. I work with couples, I work with individuals with depression and individuals with stress. So today's video I'm going to be talking about 3 different chapters from this book. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is called Don't Use Your Partner as a Punching Bag. So I'm just going to read an excerpt from the chapter, and then I'm going to look at my own notes and what I think, give you some information there. So the chapter says, let's face it, most of us like to vent at least once in a while. It just feels good to get certain things off your chest. And even if it doesn't feel good, sometimes you just can't seem to help it. There's an enormous difference between an occasional vent, where you let off steam, versus making venting an integral part of your regular communication. So what I want to talk about with that particular information is, when you're venting to someone, you've got to understand that that person isn't, like myself, a trained therapist, where someone comes to the counselling room and they're going to be talking about quite heavy things, they might be offloading, even outside of the counselling room. Because I'm a counsellor, when someone is venting or offloading, I have the skills, the capacity, and I also recognise what's happening. If you're in a relationship and all you ever do is, go on and on and on at your partner, whether you call it nagging, venting, whatever it is, it's going to get to a point where they're going to just switch off, or where they're going to feel that you're always getting at them. So what I would say is that to focus your attention in a positive way. So if you've got something to moan about or something to complain about, counteract it with something positive, and also maybe think about, maybe your partner isn't the person to vent this to. Maybe you could go to a counsellor, maybe you could go to someone else, but don't always use your partner as a punching bag, as someone to vent. Yeah, you're in a relationship together. It doesn't mean they want to know every single thing about how bad your day's been, how bad you feel at the moment, how everything's getting to you, how they're not helping with the housework. It's too much. So you need to limit the amount of venting that you do. Think about who you could go to as opposed to your partner, and try and think about the positives as well as the venting. Okay, so that's the first chapter. Another chapter that I thought was really interesting is called Know Your Value. So what it says is, ideally, everyone who is in a love relationship would treat their partner as 100% equal. Unfortunately, however, we don't live in an ideal world, and for a variety of reasons, there are some people, both men and women, who feel a sense of superiority. In some cases, they feel their role or contribution is more significant or important than their partner's. So what this book is encouraging you to do is, one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself and your relationship is to know your own value, to feel secure that you are special, unique and important. So I just want to sort of talk a little bit on that. My feeling is that we're all unique, there's only one of us. You've got to accept your own uniqueness, and you've got to also identify your value and not allow anyone to tell you that, well, because you don't have a certain look, because you haven't got a certain qualification, because you don't do this or do that, that you're not valuable. You have to understand that you do have valuable things about you. You have to also, this is my own feeling, you have to be ready to walk away. If you, there's a lot of people that, rather than walking away, they'll stay and put up with anything, and they'll say, well, I'm not going to get anyone better, or what's the point in leaving this relationship because the next one is just going to be as bad. That is limiting your value, because you're telling that person that no matter what they do, how many times they cheat, how many times they shout at you, whatever they do, you're going to put up with it because you can't get better than them. So that's not a good thing. So my feeling as a person is that I know my value, whether I'm in a relationship or not, and I have standards, and I just want everyone to kind of think about that for a minute. Set your standards, know how valuable you are, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's in the home, or whether it's in a relationship, and don't ever lower your value. So that's that one. And the last chapter, which I'll quickly talk about, is, where is it? Right, don't make your partner walk on eggshells. So this just says that if your partner seems to say I'm sorry a lot of the time, or if they seem defensive a lot of the time, it could indicate that they feel cautious around you. So what I would advise, if that's the situation, is to think about the language you're using towards your partner. Think about your energy. You know, think about your behaviour. And the final thing to consider in all of those cases is what I'm doing or saying showing love to my partner? Anyone in a relationship, the key thing that obviously you both want is to feel loved and to know, see love, or whether it's feel it, see it. So it could be in different ways. That could be gifts that someone buys you. That could be saying I love you to the person. That could be helping them around the house. You will identify what helps you to feel loved. But if someone is walking on eggshells all the time, they don't know how to please you, you know, they're doing one thing and then you're saying that's not enough, or they're saying I love you but you don't believe them, then they're going to be on eggshells. So what you need to do is both need to kind of have those discussions, find out what it is that your partner needs for them to feel loved by you. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. For further information about New Journeys Counselling, please go to my Facebook page, which is NU Journeys Counselling. You can also find me on Twitter as NJ Counselling. You can go to my, you can email me, newjourneys@yahoo.com, and you can also go to my website, which is www.nujourneys.co.uk. Thank you very much for watching. Bye, and I'll see you on a video soon. Thank you.